This video is very disturbing. Any medical professional watching this video knows this is a hoax. This is all a military operation. That's a military plane. All of these men are military. Everything about this is military. Since when are military experts on taking care of infectious diseases and sick patients? What's the military doing all over this patient? But there's not even a patient in that chamber. That isolation chamber. Look at the guy saluting right there in front of you. He's saluting an ambulance. After this is all over, you'll see the guy in white, one of the guys in white, you'll see him debriefing the guys in orange. There's an IV bag hanging outside the IV. It's hanging to gravity. Since when do you not use a pump? Look at, there's equipment laying across what is supposed to be a patient. The patient never moves. There are so many things irregular about this video. It is incredible. A media circus, when usually sick people arrive on a jet, there's no media circus. They want you to know Ebola has arrived. Those are military pilots wearing military flight uniforms, and they don't even have a mask on. That should tell you something right there. What in the hell's going on? Ebola's been around for millions of years, and now you're watching a two-man transfer in a heavy device with a patient inside the heavy device, and you do a two-man transfer out of an airplane. You go all that way to get a critically ill patient, and then you risk it all on a two-man transfer. We've all been transferred in the hospital that have been in the hospital with just a sheet, and they use 4 people, don't they? 5 people. That is crazy. There's nobody in that. There's nobody in that. You don't see a head. You don't see arms. You need to access a port with that hanging IV to gravity. But that equipment, we try to identify it. It looks like an IV pump and a clamp. And we'll try to zoom in and show you. Look at the guy in the background with his hands up by his face. What kind of body language is that? Oh my, this looks like a freaking presidential escort. They want you to know. And why are we using CIA and Air Force planes to evacuate the sick? Why not a true jet that's a ambulance, an air ambulance? Oh my goodness, people, there's nothing right about this. If you're hanging an IV to gravity, you need to be able to see if that is dripping. And you don't see an arm anywhere in there, do you? There's nothing normal about this. A two-man transfer out of an airplane. Oh my goodness. They don't even do that with a sheet transfer or a simple stretcher for a critically ill patient. That's not a critically ill. Here's the guy saluting. Oh my goodness, a guy saluting the ambulance. This is crazy, people. This is just crazy. There's no urinal. There's no catheter bag hanging anywhere. Well, you would think they would want to contain the urine now, wouldn't you? This is stupid. I can't believe they would pull this off. This video was released by the Ministry of Defense. There's the insignia in the upper left-hand corner. Why are they producing videos now? This is a black ops. This is sickening. This is absolutely ridiculous. These guys don't know what they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing. You know, at least you would put 2 guys at the head. You don't want to drop the head, do you? You don't want to drop anything. That's a huge risk. Somebody who's going to bleed internally, and you do a 2-man transfer. Okay, where's their mask? Where is it? They don't have a mask. An IV hanging outside the isolation chamber. That means there's an open route going through into the patient somewhere. And you could easily hang this bag on the inside. There's hooks everywhere. And look at inside this square. You see like a green capsule or something. That looks like an infusion chamber. I can't guarantee it. I can't swear by it, but it sure looks suspicious. And lower on the patient, looks like a clamp. Again, it's very subjective, but this is equipment laying on a body, which is ridiculous. I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is sickening. This is absolutely a hoax. They're trying to force you into a dark agenda. And the CDC saying it's airborne. I mean, come on, if it was airborne, there'd be millions and millions of people dead from airborne Ebola. This thing would be a mess. This is crazy. And there is so much in this video that is disturbing. Um, it's just, it's a hoax. I mean, why would somebody bring Ebola to their territory? Why? That's unprecedented when you take a patient to the medicine instead of the medicine to the patient when they're on the verge of dying. These are military because you will see that, I'll point it out so you won't miss it. There's a guy salutes an ambulance. Give me a break. Here comes the ambulance. Look at the guy on the left. He's saluting. He just saluted an ambulance. And, I mean, this thing weighs a ton. And you don't see anybody move. The IV bag should be attached to the pump, should be inside the chamber. Otherwise, you have to have an opening in the isolation tube for that tube to run through. That makes no sense. They have plastic bubbles you put your hands in. You can do all the work through this plastic bubbles you put your hands through. You don't need to have an IV bag hanging outside of the isolation chamber. So I don't even believe there's a patient in here. You know how heavy that chamber would be? Barely 2 guys can lift it now. Why would you go all that trouble to bring a critically ill patient to your country? Why would you do that? And then have a 2-man transfer out of the plane. That was very poorly done. And anybody who's in medicine will chime in. The guy saluting. And then when it's all done and over, one of the guys in white goes over and debriefs the guys in orange. And you can see him right now almost pointing towards the terminal. Right there with his right hand, you can see the glove sticking out. And then look at his hand body language up by his face at the end. This is an amazing video. He's debriefing those guys there. He's telling them exactly what to say and what not to say. And the body language of the guys behind doesn't look like they're too happy about their role in what they're doing. Of course, that's an assumption. But it's there for you to see. That means that this is a hoax, and it would have to be. I mean, really, folks, why would you bring an Ebola patient to your country? And why wouldn't you just take the medicine to the Ebola patient? Why are they being transferred in CIA and military planes? Why is it CIA and military all over these patients? Why? Where's the medical people? What does the military have to do with a sick person? This is terrifying to me. I'm numb to it. I can't believe what my eyes are seeing. This is absolutely ridiculous. You really think they're laying equipment atop of a hemorrhaging patient? Do you really think that? You guys, this blows it wide open. You've got to protect me. You have to get this video out to as many people as possible. If this gets disseminated quickly, there's really no putting the genie back in the bottle. This is all an orchestration, and you've been warned about it for years. You've been wondering why they had FEMA coffins and why the military was practicing cordoning off cities. The people that participated in those drills have talked about it. I mean, look at this. You don't lay equipment on top of a healthy person. Do you see an arm, a leg, a head anywhere? Anywhere. Look at the crump at the bottom of the patient. That whole thing had slid forward when they tilted it. And now there's a crimp and the feet are up in the air. That is not even a person. That thing never moves. That person never moves. They don't even talk to the person in the isolation chamber. Usually you talk to your patient when you're going to move. You tell them when you're going to move. You tell them what's going on. You reassure them. Look, a two-man transfer, that is the riskiest thing I have ever seen done with a critical patient. You got all these guys there that can help move this really heavy object with a human being inside, mind you, and they didn't help. It was a two-man transfer. It was like they were lowering a trunk. Oh my God, a guy saluting an ambulance. That's crazy, people. That jet says Air Force. You've got to help me. They're trying to push a darker agenda. The CDC has never told you about gamma globulin. This virus has been around for millions of years. It only has 4 or 5 strains. I lose track anymore. If this thing had ever been airborne, it would kill millions. And they wouldn't release it in our own country. That's too risky for themselves. That has to be wagging the dog. They've got to be orchestrating this. They've got to put you in fear. They're putting these Ebola patients in your face with a media circus. An IV bag hanging outside an isolation chamber to gravity. Give me a break. That's the worst medicine I have ever seen. That is absolutely nuts. Look at the body language of the people in the orange. You've got to help me, people. You've got to get this out. This is so important. New York is considering a law right now that says if you refuse any vaccines, they can quarantine you, even if you don't have symptoms. You know how sick that is? Do you know how bad that is? The Homeland Security, FEMA coffins, FEMA relocation centers. We have the contracts. They were built by Halliburton. I mean, come on. This is it. We have to get the word out. We can't let them get away with this. There's military all over Ebola patients. Where's the medical professionals? Why are they military? Since when is military specialists at medical? They can't even take care of their own veterans. Oh my goodness, people. This is just disgusting. They don't even know what the hell they're doing. Oh my God. You've got to get this out as soon as you see this video. You need to forward it as many people as you can. We cannot let them get away with this. We cannot. I want medical people to chime in and validate everything that I've said about this video. I will protect you from the trolls. But it's time to get busy, people. It's time to get busy.